Episode 5. It's just Jarvis and I tonight as we try Ballast Point's Tongue Buckler, an Imperial Red that's a huge 10% ABV. As you've seen in the past, we don't hold punches, and there may be some swinging in this episode. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Episode 5 of Two Guys Drinking Beer. All right, so we're live. This is a beer cast, episode number 5. We're lucky number 5. Follow us on Periscope. I'm at Tom Feroci, and Jarvis, you're?
I think I'm at Bearded Jarvis. Pretty sure it's Bearded Jarvis.
Bearded Jarvis and Tom Feroci. All right, so tonight's beer of choice is going to be the Ballast Point Tongue Buckler. It's an Imperial Red. I believe it's 10% by volume. And for our Periscope watchers, you can see we have new glasses. These are going to be the official Two Guys Drinking Beer pint glasses with my ugly mug and Jarvis's ugly mug.
One more time on my Periscope with the pint glasses. It's kind of hard to see because it's a clear pint glass with a little bit of frosted our faces and words on it with a white background, but there you go.
So tonight we got a lot of interesting things going on. Again, we're doing a red Imperial or an Imperial Red IPA. Or sorry,
No.
Imperial Red Ale.
There you go.
So Jarvis is a beer guy. Will you give us some background on what is an Imperial Red Ale? Or what is a red ale?
I should have done my research. Overall, red ale, kind of astringent, more malty than hoppy usually. Lots of people know the classic Irish red, Killian's, which it's a safe example of that style. But this is an American red ale, and then also an Imperial red, which is closer to, I would say Imperial red is closer to like an Imperial IPA, a little bit more malty. It'll be a little bit different.
So it's going to be a pretty heavy beer. Like I said earlier, I believe it's going to be 10% by volume. Again, if you're following us on Periscope right now, go ahead and submit questions. Ask us anything you want. Give us hearts. We're not quite sure what they do or where they go.
I'd actually keep your hearts. I don't even want your hearts.
Yeah,
fuck your hearts.
So
fuck your hearts. Hashtag.
We're about to go into the Ballast Point website and look at what the marketing material says, but I'm going to tell Jarvis, this is one of my favorite things about these brewery companies is this stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Are you 21 years old?
At least they've gotten better where it's just click yes or no. Some of them still have, like, enter your date of birth. Like, now I've got to just do, like, January 1, 1918 or, like, whatever the first fucking
over 21 date.
Yeah, like I really like how a lot of them now it's just yes or no.
Yeah, the fur band
and
says
even then,
like they know.
It's not like they're advertising. Like, if I was 17 years old and needed to do some report on beer, are you of age? No, and then it clicks me to or pushes me to some other website. Like, no, I needed to go to that website to do some research, but I can't.
Welcome, guys. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's totally arbitrary.
So I don't know if this is some marketing bullshit or something left over from like here in Texas. We have a lot of blue laws that are left over that are just fucking ridiculous. But let's read what Ballast Point, who is the creators of Tongue Buckler, has to say. It's an Imperial Red Ale that'll leave you speechless. Our Tongue Buckler Imperial Red doesn't pull any punches. It's a big brew with hops and malts in the extreme abundance. The IBUs, International Bitters Units, alone test the limit of your palate. Yet, well, the timid should take warning. Tongue Buckler generously rewards the bold with an exceptional ale. So, we shall see. As an old sailor myself, and the graphics on the label, I feel a little sense of piracy coming on. So with that being said, Jarvis, will you do the honors?
I will. I just need to readjust this camera real quick. I'm not used to this.
The Periscope thing is kind of becoming overtaking all of us.
Yeah, it's this little desktop. There we go.
Furban, what do you mean by what the fuck?
There we go. There we go. That's nice.
So here we go. We're gonna pop this one. And I will do the first
There
pour.
you are, sir.
You can see the steam coming out.
It's not steam.
I know it's not steam, but it looks like steam.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to put you guys down for a second while I pour this.
Always tilt your pint glass at a 45-degree angle when you first start pouring, so you don't get too much head. And you do want head-on beer. I can't stand. It's rare that I go to like a
So here we go, guys.
Missions or Spurs game, but when assholes are like in line and ahead of me and they get a beer, I'm like, I don't want any head on my beer. Like,
Well,
no, fuck you. A beer should have head, even if it's a shitty beer.
Exactly.
It should have head.
Yes.
Like that's what's releasing all these flavors and aromas, and I forget the exact percentage. Like 90% of our taste, 70% of our taste is actually through smell.
Exactly.
Like if you're sick, if you've got a cold and you can't smell, food tastes very bland.
That is true. So, okay, one thing I'm noticing already is the fact that we...
And this head is standing up. Like, it's not dissipating at all.
No.
I like that.
I'm going to change subject off the head real quick, though, is look
By
at
all means.
Look at how great our heads look on the bottle now that there's some color behind it.
Speaking of beer heads,
Look at that. It's beautiful.
look at these heads on these beautiful pint glasses.
Yes.
Oh, it's so dark on this corner. I'm sure Tommy's Periscope is way more lit up.
So, anyways, let's go ahead and give this a taste. Jarvis?
Cheers.
Chars. So, interesting. I've had my taste of reds before. As far as reds are concerned, I think that this is by far a superior red.
Sorry, had a burp.
And in terms of beers themselves, the flavor is really, really kind of all over the place, in my opinion. I can't narrow it down to bitter, malty.
Well, it's both, and it's a little bit astringent. And hold on, one more sip. Yeah, nice kind of sharp hop notes. Kind of, they don't fade away really fast, but they kind of drop off. A little bit of lingering bitterness.
I was going to say, do you have a slight aftertaste to,
Oh, yeah.
to your flip? Yeah,
The bitterness kind of stays.
I agree.
It's like more on the back of the tongue, front of the throat.
So this is our first Ballast point. And I will say some props to the website. It gives you more than, let's just go back to Space Cake, episode 1, which was a fairly bland website. This site's actually giving you availability, ABBs, IBUs, 108 IBUs. But
and
food pairing.
And I've seen that with a lot of West Coast websites.
Really?
Like them, I believe even a Green Flash Brewing Company, Deschutes too. If it wasn't Deschutes shows like they will give you not their exact recipe, but they will tell you all of their ingredients.
Oh, wow.
They will tell you exactly what malts they use, exactly what hops.
Well, I can tell you, so the food pairing on this is teriyaki flank steak plate, lunch, sweet potato, fries, and Scotch egg. None of which I've had, so I can't really speak much to that.
I could see this with a flank steak, but pretty much any beer goes with the flank steak.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Scotch egg. Like,
What is a Scotch egg?
It's like a hard-boiled egg that's stuffed with something, and it's wrapped in. Or it's not wrapped in bacon. It's like you press sausage around it, and then you bread it, and then you deep fry it. So you bite into it. It's like crispy, crunchy breading, hard-boiled egg with a filling. It's the greatest bar food ever.
Nice.
Ever.
So speaking of bars, many of you know since episode 1 we've been talking about Jarvis moving on to bigger and better things, stepping down as the head brew dude or head beer guy at the filling station. Well, that happened on Thursday or Wednesday.
Yeah, my last day was Wednesday.
So let's get this out of the way. How do you feel about it?
It was a great night. I didn't really get too emotional that night. But yesterday, I don't even know the date. Today's Friday. Wednesday was the last day at filling station. Thursday, went to do bar training at the new bar from 9 to 5. Afterwards, went to filling station to go get my remaining random little things. I had a knife that a customer had given me, an old Linux training book, a charging cable for an old e-cigarette body, whatever, a couple other random things, and somebody had given me a shit ton of Girl Scout cookies off season. That's a great hookup to have. But I got all that stuff out, and I gave there's 2 locks on the door, gave the 2 keys to the current bartender, and it was kind of bittersweet. It was fun while it lasted, but
yeah, I can only imagine. You were there for what, 3 years, give or take?
A little bit over 3 years. That bar, filling station tap room, 701 South St. Mary's, opened April 2012. I started there March 2012, and this was a brilliant thing that you had pointed out to me when you were there Wednesday night. Like, I forget if you had posted it there or if you just told me after. Yeah, it was on the Instagram picture. Like, my friend who helped open up this bar is going on to the new thing where he's helping open up that bar. And when you had told me that, it was like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that. And you had said when you were telling me that story, like, oh, you didn't even realize that. Like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. Like, I was there from day one, before the place opened up. I helped open up the place. Like, that's the only 2 times in my life I've done that. I don't know if I'm not getting choked up. I'm just getting a little phlegmy. I don't know how many people can say that, like, let alone 1, but then 2 back to back. Like, that's...
Well, who knows? Jarvis may become the bar opener. The go-to guy for...
It may be. I don't know.
Because you were telling
me... Give it 3 years.
You were telling me that when you and John met, you were kind of there for something as stupid as getting the refrigeration system, and he kind of sucked your opinion on that. Or you were there helping him with getting the refrigerator, whatever it was that you said that you bought at the...
Yeah, that's... Yeah. So want me to tell that whole story?
Well, I'm just saying that you have the tendency to be really knowledgeable, and people look for your...
No, we were just buying a refrigerator.
But now you've moved up to the beer guru.
Oh, yeah. Well...
And what I'm saying is, I see you being...
I don't think I deserve that much credit, but I will gladly accept it. I still have a lot of learning to do, but thank you.
No worries. All right, I'm going to turn off my Periscope because my phone's getting really hot.
Dude, and it looks like I've got 0 on mine. I'm sorry.
All right,
I'm just going to start a new one and be like...
We'll try this a little bit later.
5 drunk, naked bitches.
That seems to be the one that gets all the action. So, anyways, all right, now that Periscope's kind of out of the way, which is probably a good thing. How's your week been overall? I know you've been going through the leaving the filling station has been a pretty dramatic thing in your life.
Yeah, new bar, training 9 to 5. I missed Monday due to intestinal stuff. I don't want to blame Papa John's chicken, bacon, whatever.
3-day-old pizza.
I ordered Sunday, but even then, and I did drink that night, but I drink every night, so. But yeah, the first time I've ever shaken a cocktail in my life was this Tuesday, and there's bartenders in this new bar that have been doing it for 3, 5, 11 years, and they're having to relearn because we've got our own new process. Not new, we've got our bar specific process. So some of the newbies are keeping up with the vets, which is kind of encouraging.
So when you say this is the first time you've done shaking your own cocktail, are you feeling the liquor yet? I guess would be the question.
What do you mean by feeling the liquor?
Are you feeling moving into being more than just a beer tender?
Oh yeah, and I'm actually starting out at the new place as just a bar back, and I hate saying that, not just a bar back, because I have no problem being in a support role. It's like sometimes you don't want to be a doctor; you just want to be the assistant. Like, hand me this, here you go. Like sometimes they're more on top of it than the doctor.
Right. But I mean, as far as going from just dealing with something as complex as beer, now going and adding in all of those complexities to alcohol.
And yeah, it is way more information. I like learning new stuff, and it's not just cocktails because we are going to have a ton of wine and a ton of champagne and a ton of vintage, like 1965 whatever spirit that nobody has. This bar is poised to be, if not one of the best or the best in San Antonio, or one of the best in Texas, if not the best, or if not one of the best in all of the US, the best. It's kind of scary, like how upper echelon this all seems right now.
Yeah.
It's
and you're getting in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Again, you're helping
like,
open.
Yeah, back to back. Like, I was there before we opened the door. And really, thank you for pointing that out, because I didn't. I probably would have eventually, maybe. But when you pointed that out, that really kind of made me pause. Like,
brings everything into perspective.
Like, wow, yeah. Like, I got handpicked for both jobs. Like, hey, we want you to come work here. Sweet, thank you. Yeah, like.
I remember when I first met you, you were Piranha Sushi.
I was doing part-time there and part-time at the station still, because.
But no, I mean, I'm just saying that
because I was trying to pay rent. Because
yeah.
Normally there's 2 people living in that house, and it was only me, so I had to work 16 hours a day to pay that bill.
So we said we weren't going to go much into Paramore tonight, which we won't, because.
Oh, you already said the name.
We've said the name before.
Oh yeah.
But hopefully, maybe do another podcast over the weekend. So hopefully, episode 7 or 8, we will.
Paramore should be open this month, and by the time this airs, it'll already be open. So
yeah.
Again, though, I'm still not going to say
we don't want
opening date.
No secrets. No secret divulging here.
Yeah, like even though by the time this hits the internet, we will be open, I still cannot and will not say the opening date.
Yes. So, is Chris a big beer drinker? That's my last question.
He stops by the station every now and then.
So, think we may get him on in a future podcast?
I would imagine, yeah. And actually, no, I was going to say I poured, like how I'm not going to go into all the details with everybody listening or on the recording, how we were building rounds of cocktails, but then Chris Ware, the GM, saw us doing that, and he jumped in. And I was going to say, I thought I went head to head pouring cocktails against Chris, but I didn't. So yeah.
Yeah. I kind of lost you on that.
Yeah.
So,
It's too much to explain right now.
so for all of our listeners here in San Antonio, there may be some good drinking news coming out of San Antonio.
There's lots.
One of which is ways to get home after a long night drinking.
Lyft supposedly coming back.
Yes. So supposedly, Lyft signed an agreement this week with the city of San Antonio to to basically add a feature into their driver profiles. It'll say whether or not that driver's gone through the quote unquote
the
enhanced
background check. Enhanced background check.
Which I personally kind of feel like it's only a positive either way.
True. It probably isn't necessary for most people, but you would rather have it than not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I'm not a big get government involved in everything and blah, blah, blah. But it's the one point in time where I would rather know that someone had a chance to say, this guy had a rape case against him or an abuse case or something, and getting in the vehicle. So I have the option to say, okay, this isn't someone I want to ride with, especially if there was a female involved.
Fair, but just for argument's sake, there's the same thing with taxi drivers where they've been convicted and
right
and raped people, killed people, whatever.
And we'll both agree that the reason why Uber and Lyft originally left was because of the taxi union, which is a mini mafia here in San Antonio.
I think partially that and partially the insurance. I don't know if that's why they left or if that's why they haven't been able to get renewed. My friend Steven used to work for an insurance company and explained the stopgap coverage. And
which
apparently, I wish he was here. He needs to be a guest on the show. He can explain it way better than I can. And I may totally mess this up. And it kind of applies to like pizza delivery people also, or I guess any delivery people. If you pick up a fare at point A, you take them to point B, you are covered under the company. But if you're just driving around waiting, and I think even if you're driving to the fare, as long as the fare is not in there, like if you get in an accident, whether it's your fault or not, you are not covered by the company.
But what about your own personal insurance?
With that, your own personal insurance company, from what I've heard, again, I could be wrong, they don't want you doing that. Like, they don't want you being a delivery driver.
Oh, okay, so they won't.
Like, on your own personal, even though, like, you're not at work, quote unquote, but you are at work, but you're not covered by your work insurance. You're only covered when the fare is in the car.
Oh, okay.
That's, like, kind of the fucked up thing, but I've heard Colorado and USAA are doing like a new pilot something, which would kind of make sense because now Colorado, with all their extra millions of dollars from legalized cannabis, they can afford like diamond roads and every kid gets a brand new laptop and they already have like iPhone 8s.
I thought it was iPhone 15s.
It's still the 8s. Like, come on.
It's the iPhone.
The 15s are still in Asia. They're beta testing.
You're
them.
right.
Like,
You're right. Okay, you won there. So, yeah. But so we'll have that option to not deal with the shitty taxi service here.
Hopefully, yeah, because it takes them a while, and there's no picture. I don't think I've ever taken Lyft. I've taken Uber 3 to 5 times. And it was great every time. Like, there's a picture of the dude or lady, a little message with, like, the make and model of their car, the color, their license plate number, a little, like, if you've ever used the app called Glimpse, it, like, shows them on the street, like, how far away they are. Like, you can see them coming.
Oh, wow.
You're like, oh, shit, I forgot my shoes and my tie inside. And they're 2 blocks away.
See, that's perfect.
Yeah,
But
like if you book a cab, it's like, oh, they'll be here in 45 minutes. You
To
book
3
an
hours.
Uber, like, oh shit, they're already on their way.
Yeah.
Like, no,
well, and that
I'm
was
not even ready yet.
that was one of the things I heard on NPR when this whole original thing was going on last year was, but the taxi service has apps. You just don't know that they're out there. but they're not anything near the level of Uber and Lyft, which are, from the way I understand it, they're basically clones of each other. 99% identical, just change the name and whatever.
True.
So, all right, so we're 25 minutes in. What do you think so far?
I wish I could come up with more descriptors for this beer, but my brain is so tired. This has been a really long week.
I feel you.
I like this beer. It is kind of astringent. It's a different kind of hoppy. It's not floral. It's not very citrusy. It's more like back end. I don't want to say like a mean hop, but it's not a friendly like, oh, your mom only drinks light beers. Let her taste Power and Light. Let her taste Deschutes fresh squeezed. She might like that. Where it's like a little more citrusy, kind of peachy. This one, it's not mean, but it's not a friendly beer.
I feel like there's something that's hanging on the back end.
Yeah, like that bitterness just sticks, and it's
like I feel like I have to keep drinking it in order not to taste whatever it is on that back end. That's
damn the luck. Got to keep drinking it.
Yes.
I'm gonna pour the rest of this in this.
I can feel the 10%. I definitely can feel that. From an alcohol standpoint, it's pretty damn good.
No.
Or maybe I'm just being obsessed by the two guys' faces that are on the cup.
Saved the foam overflowing off the beer.
So Jarvis
Or
just
off the
saved
pint.
us from a major party foul.
One person on Periscope, or on my Periscope, saw it.
Yay. All right. So last week we had what I call the National Comedic Festival, the Republican national debates for the primary,
I totally missed that.
featuring the grade A jackass,
Mr. Trump?
Mr. Trump. So here's the sad thing. I think it was CNN that did a poll, an impromptu poll.
Trump doesn't care about CNN.
Not just Republicans, but Democrats who were labeled as disenfranchised from the current administration. Still believed in very much the liberal side of their party. And it was something like 32%, both sides, would rather have Trump than anybody else. So it's not just the
That's
crazy
alarming.
right-wingers that feel like Trump is someone that represents him.
I don't see how he can represent people. Well, actually, no. With that, if he wants to represent a bunch of sexist, racist assholes who think that they know better than informed people, no, he did not personally go bankrupt, but he bankrupted three companies. And what do you say? Like, we don't need another politician in the White House. We need a businessman. As he bankrupted 3 companies, basically saying, we don't need somebody to take care of the government's money. Just need to take care of my money.
Right.
Yeah, let the country go bankrupt. I'll be fine. Like, no.
What do you expect from someone who's a caricature of himself, and he knows that he's a caricature of himself and plays on it? That's how he markets himself.
I'm stealing this verbiage from somebody else. He's the Frankenstein monster that the Republican Party has created, and now they're trying to keep inside. They're trying to keep him in the basement, but it's too late. Like, they created this monster, and they're trying to discredit him and say, like, no, he's too far outside of these lines. But the American public, crazy enough, is fucking eating it up. And
it's not just, and the sad thing, it's not
they
just,
made this monster.
It's not just the right now. It's the left seeing him
And
as
that's even crazier. Like,
I see him as an anti-hero. I see him as a Wile E. Coyote. Someone that you want to root for, but at the same time, you also want to see get hit by the
that
truck.
He's an anti-hero. You're just saying, like,
well, no. What I'm saying is, like,
he's
like there's times when you're watching, Wile E. Coyote go after the Roadrunner,
And then he makes
And
some
you really-
terrible sexist and racist statement.
But you really want him to
And
get
you
the
still
Roadrunner?
root-
But at the same time, you want him to get hit by the fucking truck. Or you want the bomb that he's playing with to go off and blow himself up. And I think that's where the American people are really watching Trump, as we're saying.
I think you just really confused me with that analogy.
Okay, so I'll explain it down slower. So we all love the Roadrunner, right? Which would be the American people.
I suppose, but Roadrunner's smart.
Ish.
When has he ever got killed?
I think the Roadrunner's more lucky than smart. Personally.
So he's lucky like 850 times.
I did
He's
not.
got
Okay.
a 100% win ratio, and he's just lucky.
No, I would say that part of it's smart, but the majority of it's luck.
But he's never been killed.
It's a comic. Or cartoon. Sorry.
It's the same thing. Lucky. He's never, ever lost.
Right.
Not once.
But so Donald Trump being the coyote.
He's lost 3 times with other people's
Well, if you
dynamite.
if you compare him
with
to the
other people's Acme brand dynamite.
if you compare him to the coyote loses every time.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Trump's ahead right now in the polls. That doesn't mean he's going to win.
No,
Give it
no,
3
no.
months, somebody else is
No,
going to be ahead in
yeah.
the polls. 3 months later, somebody else is going to be ahead in the polls.
But so there's a lure.
Or please let it be Bernie versus Trump. Like,
Yeah.
The
Well,
Republican Party will implode. And I know you're usually
I'm more
Republican
right.
leaning. I'm
Yeah.
usually more Democratic leaning. Not that there's anything wrong with either side.
But I would like to see that debate between the two of them.
Bernie would destroy him. It'd be like a professor debating a fucking 3-year-old kid. Like, I want juice now. Like, well, honey, let me explain how juice is made.
But see, I
You
can
see,
see
this tree has to grow.
I want to see Donald Chimp revert or Donald Chimp. Donald,
I love that. Donald Chimp. New T-shirt idea.
Donald
Chimp.
Yes. By the way, that is copyright. Two Guys Drinking Beer,
With, like,
2015.
With like all
Let's make Two Guys Drink.
no, but with oh shit, I'm so excited. Why is there only one person watching this right now?
I don't know.
Charlton Heston.
Oh, prior
They
this.
blew it up. You goddamn dirty apes. Dude, Donald Chimp with the destroyed Statue of Liberty in the back.
I'm sorry. I just
And
snorted.
his hair, that works.
Yes.
Donald Chimp. This is like
We are going to make
this
a
is like
Donald
5
Chimp.
things lined up that needs to happen. I'm writing this down right now.
Donald Chimp.
Donald DONALD.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just seen a turning point of the Two Guys Drinking Beer podcast. But no, seriously. So
that's we can mix that with Donald Chimp and the Two Guys Drinking Beer.
you know what? Donald Chimp, Two Guys Drinking Beer. So they're holding the beers. So you know, like the 3 monkeys, see no evil, do no evil, hear no evil. We'll make Donald Chimp the middle guy, and we can be.
Can he have hands big enough where he just like covers his mouth?
No,
he can't cover his mouth. Obviously,
baby hands, so you can't cover his toupee.
it has to be. He's covering his eyes. He has to be the because he
literally is a blind man. But yeah, so
or it could just be all like sneaky posturing, putting them out here on purpose to.
well, you know, he was the one guy who did not raise his hand, or he did raise his hand. So at the very beginning of the debates, the moderator said, "Can we get a pledge from all of you that if you yourself aren't the candidate, that you're not gonna run opposed to them or support the Democratic candidate?" And Donald Trump raised his hand saying, "I'm not making that promise."
And why did he raise his hand if they asked for?
No, I said that wrong. Can everyone, or no, they said who would not do that? Basically, it was a way to force Donald Trump to raise his hand. Now, they came back and they did ask him. They asked him a follow up on that, which was why, and he said because some of these guys I don't like, and you couldn't pay me to support them. And I'm not going to support someone I morally don't believe in supporting. So I do appreciate that legitimate answer. Like if it was, and I'm being sarcastic, Hillary Clinton,
It better not be.
Bernie Sanders, or Saddam Hussein, and Saddam Hussein won the nomination, I could totally justify Bernie Sanders running as an independent. What I'm saying though, but you know the extreme example
I
that
just
is.
did the most extreme neck roll ever.
But
I know y'all can't see it,
but you understand the extreme example of what I'm saying is that as a candidate, you're still a human being, and you have to believe in what you're supporting.
True. That's why I think Hillary needs to get out of the way and back Bernie.
So
I
what do
could
you
see like Bernie with Hillary as vice president, but
So you're
really
a
think
sexist
she
now.
needs-
So you don't think women
No,
can be president?
not at all. I just think he
You
has better
motherfucker.
ideas, and even then, like, just like Obama or any other president, like they spout these, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, but it still has to get passed through the House and the Senate.
Right.
So, and that's kind of the brilliance of, or brilliancy, either way, whatever, the three-party system where if a Hitler did get elected into the presidency, he's like, I'm going to do all these terrible things. It would still have to pass through the House and the Senate. So,
And then be verified by the judicial system, which would say, no, this is unconstitutional.
and like, I think Bernie Sanders has a lot of good ideas. I think a lot of, again, I'll lean more left.
Yeah.
I think not all their ideas are great. Not all of them are terrible.
So what do you think of Uncle Joe coming into the race, possibly?
No, he won't. He can't. He won't.
No, I think actually he was supposed to make an announcement today or tomorrow.
He needs to get out of the way. He needs to not do that. He's just gonna muddy up the available field. No, don't.
Yeah. So apparently Hillary Clinton just said all the Republican candidates are just like Trump.
And that's why she needs to not be the front runner.
Yeah,
Bernie Sanders.
Yes.
In my opinion, Bernie.
Yeah, I don't like his politics, but I'd rather see someone who has.
I don't see how you couldn't. He's more kind of aligned with.
Well, let me finish what I'm saying.
I absolutely will, Mr.
Sir.
Hitler. I'm totally kidding.
No. I mean, there's a lot I don't like. There's a lot I do like, but I think he has the right mentality.
Yeah, like
If it came down to, I can't think of a Republican right now I'd really want to vote for.
imagine that.
It's because they're all playing positioning right now.
But Bernie's trying to take away
Right.
huge bonuses for executives and corporations that are just out of control.
But
or getting government bailout money and then still giving executives bonuses and still fucking up the company.
Here's my thing on that. So if I am the owner of, let's just say, the two Guys Drinking Beer Podcast LLC, and we start getting 10 million hits a month,
I want to see some of that money.
obviously you do, I do, but as the owners, and let's just say we hire on a producer to run all this shit and make sure we know what the fuck we're talking about, dealing with all that. If we decide to give ourselves bonuses as the people who created the show, I think that's more than fair. But if we are running in debt,
Yeah.
and we have the government pay for our show,
Then we should not give ourselves bonuses.
not until we're
Like,
clear of any of that control.
even beyond that, well, never mind. I take that back. Not even beyond that. Just up unto that.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing.
If you need government bailout money, you shouldn't get like a $2 million bonus to go like, hey, just take a couple of weeks off, go to Aruba. I know you fucked up, but just clear your head, come back.
Yeah.
No, fuck you. Like, you lost a lot of people's money.
You know where
their
you
houses,
you know
lost
where-
their life savings.
Do you know where you
Fuck
should be
you.
taking your 2 weeks? You should be taking your 2 weeks in the unemployment fucking line.
Well, they should get like 2 weeks. I was gonna say caning, but
We can.
I instantly took that back. No,
Yes.
like mentally, like no,
Speaking of weird,
it wasn't that weird.
weird.
Singapore does caning all the time, but I'm
Well-
against corporal punishment.
Weird punishment shit. So, I found this article, and Jarvis hasn't had a chance to read it, but it's fucking hilarious.
About the plaster.
So there's a Danish foreign minister who weighed into Sweden's racist plaster debate. Okay, in case you guys didn't hear that,
I believe it's pronounced plaster.
I'm going to say this one more time.
That's not racist. That's more nationalist?
No.
Xenophobic? Plaster.
No, I'm talking about the actual debate itself. So Sweden is having a legitimate media-based argument about plaster.
So what color should the fucking plaster be?
Well,
what would please everybody?
Let me read this.
Let's just do it like all red. Because there's nobody that has actually red skin. Red, purple, blue, green.
Let me read this tag. Minister says he's glad he doesn't live in Sweden after debate whether beige plaster upholds whiteness norm. So basically what this lady from Colombia, Paula Dahlberg, who's a blogger, is arguing is that plaster, and I believe it's for casting, I could be wrong, only comes in beige. And Jarvis, why does it only come in beige?
Because it's made of gypsum and one other ingredient, and that's like the color that it fucking turns.
But apparently that's racist because it upholds a whiteness standard.
You could add dye to make it whatever color, but I'm pretty sure it's gypsum and something else. 2 ingredients, quick and simple, boom, done.
So should we now have a quota on different hues of plaster? I'm a little confused on what this whole argument's about, but apparently it's gone international. And apparently it's a real thing in Sweden. Which last time I checked was like the home of the whitest people on the face of the planet because there's no fucking sunlight. And how do you become a darker skinned human being? You have
Stay on the sun.
You have melatonin interacting with sunlight, which darkens your skin.
Not melatonin, melanin.
Melanin, sorry.
I did the same thing earlier,
sorry, melanin.
5 hours ago.
Yeah. Melatonin's a shit that makes you go to sleep.
I know you. Oh, you don't have your Periscope running. I'm gonna put my Periscope right now. It's gonna say "Naked Chicks Live."
They're gonna see that and they're gonna.
Because we maxed out like 10 viewers earlier. But I'm going to put naked chicks. And I bet it goes to like 3,000 in 2 minutes. Maybe 2 minutes.
I'm going to share this. I just saw the Jarvis live. So I'm going to share it to all followers.
And Periscope Android version, you don't get the map. It's just...
Because they fucking hate you.
There's like 3 main ones and 1 regular... Oh shit, that's me on there. There I am.
So we're learning that there's like a 10-second delay.
5 seconds. Back to 1 viewer again.
Hi, Jarvis. I can see you.
Hi, Tommy. We need to get Brie Olson on.
Yes. Look at Jarvis. You're getting hearts.
Contact Brie. Where's Brie?
Who's giving you hearts?
I hope it's Brie Olson.
No.
It's only like a 3-second delay.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad. So, anyways, guys.
So there's really not any naked girls on here. We're doing a beer podcast. Tricked you.
But
we're going to teach you about some beer.
So, this was our more sober of all of our podcasts so far, and we've actually gone pretty much off the rails. But we do want to let you guys know we got some wonderful glasses made. I'm going to do some pictures later today or tomorrow that'll be on our Instagram site, which is 2 Guys Drinking Beer. We may start to do some for sale if you guys are interested. So, Jarvis, what would you think would be the 10 most beer-oriented cities that you've been to? Or even the top 3 beer cities that you've been to.
Well, there's different cities that have like a a long history of like the culture of brewing, whether it's good or bad. I love New Orleans for beer. If you ever go to New Orleans, go to on St. Charles Avenue, Avenue Street Pub. They have it's 2 stories. It's like every Thursday or Friday night they tap a fresh cask of beer. The last time I was there was 2012 or 2013. 2013. And I got a bomber, 22-ounce bottle of Stone 666 IPA.
Seriously, 666?
Well, because they've got the series. They've got the 01, 01, 01, the 02, 02, 02s, where January 1st, 2001, February 2nd, 2002.
You don't see the Illuminati connection?
Fuck Illuminati. I just had what I had. It was 06, 06, 06. 6.5 year aged. So, yeah, it was 13. 6.5 year aged beer, or 6 year aged beer, whatever, for $12. That is fucking unheard of.
Nice. So,
like, if you know a friend that has a Stone 06, 06, 06 in their fridge, like, unless you're their best friend, they are not sharing that with you. Like, that is, and they have that shit available.
So you have a
go to Avenue Pub if you're in New Orleans.
So
if you like beer.
New Orleans is number 3, number 2, number 1 on your list.
Well, I haven't done a whole lot of traveling, so
right. That's why I'm saying between here. I figured between here, Austin, El Paso,
and
Houston,
and I haven't been in El Paso after I was of legal drinking age. So
but
I've
Travis,
heard they're getting better.
You've never drank before.
That's
you were
actually
legal?
where Hoppy Monk here started in El Paso.
Really?
This is their second location.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Hey, I know nothing about El
Yeah.
Paso except I do not stop there when I'm driving through Texas.
Well, yeah, just keep driving. But no, also, if you go to El Paso, another pro tip, just like New Orleans, if you drive through El Paso, stop at fucking Chico's Tacos. They're tacos that it's rolled. It's like, they're basically flautas.
They're taquitos.
No, it's a rolled hard shell taco.
Well, do you know what taquitos are?
Well, in Texas, taquitos are small tacos.
See, in
like Whataburger, that's breakfast taquito.
Okay, see, in California, taquito.
Yeah, we're not in California, are we?
We're international, motherfucker.
But we're in Texas right now, so taquito means little taco.
See, and this is a racism I get from the left.
Oh, here we go.
That the left wants to be cool. No, I'm kidding. I love Jarvis. But
if you're in El Paso, really, stop at Chico's Tacos. They only have like 5 locations.
Border.
Well, yeah, it's right on the border, but they're like rolled tacos. The cheese they use to top it is not milk-based. It's oil-based. It's bad for you, but it's fucking delicious.
Nice.
And their salsa, I hate to say watery, because it's thin. It's a thin salsa. And you just dump that salsa on top of the double order. Single order is 3. You need the double order 6 with the cheese on top. Dump the salsa. Let it sit for 2 or 3 minutes. You shoot the shit with your friends. That way you don't need a knife. You just get in there with your fork. And it softens up enough to just tear into.
Nice.
And it is brilliant.
Sounds like a good little meal.
And if I ever hear friends like, oh, I'm going to El Paso, I message them directly like, hey, you need to go to Chico's Tacos. You need to order it separately, put it in Ziploc bags, and I will pay you like 4 times what you paid to get this. Bring me that fucking Chico's.
See, I wish where I lived growing up in Southern California was other than 20 hours close on a drive, because there's this place called Alerto's. And in Texas, we don't know how to make tostadas. They're usually about 3 inches in diameter. This is like a full-size...
Like flat taco shell? Like a tortilla, but crispy, flat.
Right. And
so it's like a small...
Right. It's typically like 3 inches in diameter. They use the biggest corn tortillas that they can get their hands on, probably 8 inches. Pile it about 4 inches high of chicken, chicken, shredded lettuce, tomatoes, beans, and then they top it off with another taco shell, which you use as your spoon because you're digging this shit out. And oh my God, if I could get someone to put that in a plastic bag and send it back here, I would come all over their face.
So it's
if it was a chick.
So it's like a tostada that's the size of a plate.
Yeah, pretty much.
With another tostada on top of that.
Well,
or at least
more of a utility
shell.
A utility shell. Because no one actually uses it anything for other than breaking it in half and then into quarters and using it as a spoon. But on that note, I'd have to say, so I had the chance to go see Straight Outta Compton today. Saw that at the second showing in Texas, or in the Quarry.
Kind of jealous.
Pretty fucking amazing biopic. I'm not a big person I didn't get into Walk the Line or some of the other biopics that have been out, but let me tell you, they played every character so well. O'Shea Jackson Jr., who is Ice Cube's son, was amazing as his father. I don't know the name of the person who played Eazy-E. If you happen to be listening, more props out to you. Amazing performance of Eazy. The guy who played Dre was great. Even though I'm having a hard time reconciling what I know Dre looks like now and that character. But not only were they brutally honest, they were brutally passionate in the movie. It's the one time I can say I saw it at 12:30 and there were 15 people in the theater, and I wish I would have been in a packed theater. There was just so much energy and vibe in that, and I'll probably go see it again. I want to plug that.
Well, also in the infamous words of, not the last words, in the infamous words of Eazy-E, pulled down my pants and the bitch said shit. Skinny motherfucker with a fat ass dick.
Amen. On that note, he also died of AIDS, sadly enough.
Well, yeah.
But
thanks for ruining that shit, Tommy.
But one of the things that stuck with me throughout the movie, I didn't really want to get into the whole police brutality thing. It was so ironic that it was released this year amidst all of the Black Lives Matter, and then that's
been kind of going on for 2 years.
And I'm not saying that there's a connection, but I don't know if you heard about this kid who recently, the white kid who was brutally murdered by a cop, and
like a week ago, and then there's like nobody from the hashtag All Lives Matter thing stood up and talked about it.
Well, no, his parents reached out to a few networks and they aired it. But basically they said, oh no, he was trying to run over a cop and he was shot from the front, and now the independent forensic
surely he was not shot from the front?
Was not shot from the front.
Imagine that.
The car wasn't moving when he was shot.
Forensics, that's crazy. Like,
yeah, so, but yet the police chief still stands up and says, our cops did the right thing because they feared for their lives. Which is where I'm going with this.
Which also goes back to like a couple of weeks, like 3 weeks ago, where I forget which city. It's like some old. The dude looked like a 60, 65 like police chief. He's like, police haven't done anything wrong.
I think
like that was his blanket statement. Like, we haven't done anything wrong.
I think that's the same place.
No, fuck you. Granted, most cops have not done anything wrong. But when the bad cops, and like on their body camera, they just walk up to a yard and like, there's a dog on a leash that cannot reach them, and they just shoot it in the head.
Yeah.
And their coworkers don't check them. Their boss doesn't check them. Nobody checks them. Like, and for that guy, representing all the cops, We haven't done anything wrong.
Well, you know what I've
Fuck
noticed.
you.
Do you know what I've
You
noticed?
have done a lot wrong.
I'm not going to blame the. I will condemn the police environment as a whole. Much like, and again, I'm going to go back to Straight Outta Compton. I didn't realize that the rise and fall of NWA was one album. For some reason, I thought they had multiple albums. It was their Straight Outta Compton
It
album.
was one in and one out.
But what are the underlying storylines throughout the whole movie? Probably halfway throughout the whole movie till the end was the Rodney King beatings. But there's also police brutality. There's the scene in the trailer where the whole crew is on the ground and the white manager's like, you can't fucking treat these are my clients. They're artists. They're here.
Yeah,
And
they
it's
show
like,
part of that on the preview.
yeah. And the black cop, which I don't think you see in the preview, the black cop was the guy who initiated the stop, was like, rap isn't an art. Go fuck yourself, basically.
And what that doesn't matter the race of the cop because they're trained to.
But what I'm saying is, it's that brotherhood. And what I've noticed is,
it's cop brotherhood, not
no, that's what I'm saying.
human brotherhood.
No, that's what I'm talking about. It's the cop brotherhood. So what I've noticed, and apparently there's an article, and I was going to bring it up to you, where the Fraternal Order of Police Sergeants, I think it was in New York or somewhere, in a major city, was like making fun of homeless people. Like, oh,
Yeah.
look at these fuckers.
Yeah, like they just came out like
Yeah.
they're taking like their Instagram.
Yeah, they're taking, yeah.
Like,
And it's like,
but there's also stories of like cops like going and buying boots
No,
and
yeah,
shoes
no.
and like helping out, but
But
it's the
when-
bad cops that fuck it up for just like anywhere.
but here's what I'm trying to
Takes
say.
one
is
asshole to ruin it.
it's not even the cops, because the Fraternal Order of the Brotherhood of Sergeants is not only active cops, they're reserve cops, and they're retired cops. And it's like, much with the Ferguson thing and the Baltimore thing, where the Fraternal Order of the Police Union people came out and said, well, no, we're standing behind our cops no matter what. Well, you're
Yeah.
biased,
Yeah, well,
and you have no accountability because you're a
if it's,
union.
I back you no matter what.
Yeah.
That is stupid.
And it's kind of like my reasoning behind like why I have an issue with certain unions, because they're going to back you no matter what. But at the same time, they're not going to be objective in what they're looking at.
Which that's why I don't like a lot of Republican shit. They're just like, no, we're gonna do it this way. Like, no, but we got some new information. Like, here's some science behind it. Like, I don't care. We're gonna back this. Like, no, but if you do it this way, it'll save this much. Fuck it. We're gonna do it this way. My boy, he's got his company. No.
Yeah, there's
No.
Yeah, I can't comment on that because I agree with you. So we're gonna say we're at an hour, 58 minutes and 4 seconds right now. What do you think?
Again, astringent, hoppy, malty, heavy.
I think I like what I'm feeling so far. Though I'm not exactly thinking it's the best beer around.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of things going on the flavor profile, but it's strong on the hops, strong on the malt, astringent.
What would you give it? I'm gonna go with a 3 out of 5.
I was about to ask, are we going to do the 10 or the 5? I'd go like 3.5.
Yeah, definitely not a 5 out of 5. Definitely not even a 4 out of 5.
It's not bad, but drinking it, like, yeah, I'll drink it, but I don't want to order another one.
Exactly. I mean, I love you, Ballast Point. Actually, I can't even say that because I don't like your
And-
sculpin.
And with that Ballast Point, what's it called? A tongue buckler. I've never seen that in San Antonio.
Apparently, it's pretty big around here.
I
Or not just around here, but around the nation. It's a good seller.
The company, yes, but that exact style or that exact beer, I've never seen in San Antonio. I think that's probably a California exclusive that you had brought back.
No, I think I've actually seen it here once before, and I'm not gonna say I'm 100% right on that. So
I highly doubt that.
let's see what Beer Advocate says it is.
Go ahead.
So Tongue Buckler Imperial Red IPA, Ballast Point Brewing Company. The BA score is 87. No score by the brothers.
Because nobody has sent the beer to them yet.
Yeah. So let's read one of the reviews here. Let's read one of the high and one of the low reviews. So the high review is pours awesome, murky, dark red with 2 fingers, off-white, that dissipates fairly quickly. Smells of sweet malt.
Yep.
With candled funk.
It's not that funky. No,
Funk
but that's their review.
Yeah. Funk is forward tasting with that surrounds the tongue and slides down the hatch. Sorry. The malted amber taste balances the big hop bite. Boozy burn.
Not that big.
Boozy burn in the end goes well with a hop bitter bite.
Eh.
Love the lingering resin. A great example of a hoppy red. I do not see a good combination like this anywhere else. Ballast Point pulls it off. Now the 1.31. So this is a Jarvis type score, 1.31. Must have gotten an off batch because it tasted like someone poured a shot of vodka into red ale. Taste was completely overwhelmed by fusel alcohol, basically undrinkable.
Well, it's an Imperial. Like, if you're too much of a pussy to understand, like, oh, this is a strong beer, then go clean the sand out of your vagina and fucking go drink your Miller Lite and fuck off.
I would say in my
and that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with drinking a Miller Lite.
No.
Drink all the Miller Lite and then fuck off.
In my experience, personally, and I know Jarvis has had it with me, the highest ABV bottle we've ever shared was a Brewdog's Tokyo, which I think was like 18%.
18, yes.
And that truly lives up to that guy's rating, which is it became undrinkable, highly alcoholic.
Well, for you, like, I understand you didn't like it.
In my
I
opinion,
did like it. And just let's get any beer. The best beer is the one in your hand.
But I do think when you get up over probably 15%, it does become a different...
Well, that one did have a lot of, like, soy sauce flavor.
Yeah.
And
that being said, we've drinking... I can't tell you right off the top of my head, but I know we've done a 9, a 10.5, an 11, a 13, now back to a 10. So for us, this
and that's just on recording.
Overly.
In real life, we've
pretty much
had way more.
Yeah, but for the show though, we've stayed within where this is actually a lower end.
Yeah,
a lower end
like,
beer.
Oh, it's only 9%, 9.8.
And I know for me personally, going to Total Wines and More or going to any of the places where I can buy really good beer, I'm looking at between. Sorry, Jarvis is making weird shapes.
I'm crushing your head right now. I'm crushing your head.
I don't crush my head.
Hey.
So okay, we've definitely gone off the deep end on this one, and I thought this was going to be the more sober one.
How many viewers do you have over on yours? I only have one.
I have none because I'm not. But Jarvis, you have any final thoughts for the night?
Final thoughts. I can't be too specific about this beer. Tongue Buckler Red Ale. It's hoppy. It's malty. It's astringent. It won't wow you, but it's good. It's solid. Don't drink it by yourself. Or if you want to drink it by yourself, yeah, go ahead. And take care of each other. Love one another. Love each other. Love one another.
Love one another.
I can't even
I don't know
talk.
what that is.
Love one another. Take care of each other.
So,
Just don't fuck each other over. Just be a good person.
amen.
How hard is that? It's less work to not fuck people over.
So
Do less work. Just
So-
be nice.
So that's Aaron Jarvis for you. I'm Tom Chase. We're gonna sign off. I do have to say,
Oh, we got. Hold on. Sorry.
Wait,
I'm
hold
sorry to interrupt. We got
Before we
one
sign off.
viewer on Periscope right here. Hey, one viewer. I don't even know if I can see whatever you're writing. Say something. Awada. This one's for you. Awada. AWADA.
you want a wada what?
I want a water vodka. I want a water. God.
So are you real quick before we go?
Blech.
I gotta ask: is Paramore gonna be cockheads and not do vodka?
Oh no, we have tons of vodka.
Well, you know Don's theory downstairs.
Yeah,
Vodka's for pussies.
I was about to say fuck Don, but I'm not gonna say fuck Don. I'm gonna
You
say
would never say fuck Don. Fuck
I'm gonna
Don.
say like we might have like a $3,000 vodka.
Say wait. Okay, I am a firm believer.
I said I might. I don't know.
I'm just.
I
saying,
don't know the ordering of the.
I'm just saying this real quick. I am a firm believer that vodka is good.
But it's pretty much all vodka.
Yeah, the $18 vodka is the same as the $7 vodka.
Well,
is the same as the 35.
That's why they.
How the fuck would you justify a $3,000 bottle of vodka? Is there like fucking gold nuggets in there?
No, I was just joking about that.
No, but I've seen it online where there's like a $3,000 bottle of vodka.
Well, and on the current, they had mentioned like, oh, and there's also like a $6,000 cognac drink.
Like, do you drink it? Do you?
Cognac
shit
is way different than vodka, and if it's like
But do you shit out diamonds?
no, but if it's a very rare like, there's only 4 bottles of this in the world,
Let them keep their 4 fucking bottles.
but it's not vodka, so
Anyways,
it's cognac.
so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tonight, Jarvis.
Thank y'all.
I love you.
I love you too. Oh, back to 0.
Yay.
Man, Periscope people, y'all can eat some shit. It's like, oh, unless you're Brie Olson, or unless you're like setting a fucking tire fire.
So you do realize that Bree's gonna ban you?
No, Brie will, and her real name is Rachel.
Yes.
Rachel will see this and like, oh, these dudes, they're not that bad.
Yes.
I'm not going to ban them, but they're not that bad.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was a great podcast.
Kind of.
Yeah. Okay, we're lying.
It wasn't terrible.
It wasn't great. It wasn't like the top.
I kind of feel like
Wait, we've only done 5, so it has to be within the top.
oh yeah, this is the 5th one. I kind of feel like the Click and Clack Tapper Brothers, like, don't drive like my brother. Don't drive like my brother. Hey.
Travis, are you gonna walk home or are you gonna drive home?
Don't fucking worry about it.
What you don't want?
Don't walk like Tommy.
Don't look like.
And
Jarvis.
don't drive like Tommy.
Ah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we love you. Good night.
I hate y'all.